The defeat at Dalan Balzhut had changed Temujin. Many believed his dream had ended, but each sunrise brought new followers, warriors, families, men willing to begin again. Quietly, his strength was returning, not through fear, but through trust. Word spread across the steppe. More riders came to Temujin's camp, not because they shared his blood, but because they trusted his leadership. For the first time, ability mattered more than birth. His camp was becoming a place of opportunity, and that simple idea began to change the future of the Mongol tribes. Temujin led differently. He listened before he commanded. A herdsman could speak. A skilled warrior could rise. Men were judged by loyalty, courage, and ability, not by the family they were born into. And across the steppe, people began to notice. News traveled quickly across the open steppe. Merchants, travelers, and wandering herders carried stories from one camp to another. They spoke of a leader who rewarded loyalty, courage, and ability, and with every journey, Temujin's reputation continued to grow. Temujin was no longer a forgotten leader. Across the steppe, his growing influence could no longer be ignored. Tribal chiefs watched his every move. Some saw a valuable ally, others saw a dangerous rival. The balance of power was beginning to change. The steppe was changing, and the news reached Temujin quickly. Powerful tribes were beginning to respond. Some searched for new allies, others quietly prepared for conflict. Temujin knew the years of rebuilding were almost over. A far greater challenge was waiting ahead. The rise of Temujin did not go unnoticed. Across the steppe, tribal leaders watched his growing influence with increasing concern. Some believed he could become a powerful ally. Others feared he would unite the Mongol tribes under a single banner. The future of the steppe was beginning to change. Temujin's growing power forced the tribal chiefs to make a decision. Some believed they should join him before it was too late. Others argued that every passing season made him stronger. If they waited, no tribe alone would be able to stop him. The steppe was moving toward a new conflict. For months, the tribe should watch Temujin grow stronger. At last, one respected chief made his decision. He rode across the steppe to stand beside Temujin, bringing experienced warriors and the loyalty of his entire clan. It was the first of many choices that would reshape the future of Mongolia. After months of rebuilding, Temujin was no longer ignored. Neutral chiefs began to arrive, not to threaten him, but to listen. Every meeting brought new allies. Every alliance made his position stronger. Across the steppe, his name spread farther each day. But while his followers increased, so did the concern of his rivals, and soon one of them would finally respond.
The enemy advances from the east. We must decide.
The plains are vast.
The news reached Jamukha without delay. Temujin's influence was growing again. More chiefs were choosing to stand beside him. Jamukha listened without interruption. He understood this was no passing trend. His old friend had become a serious rival, and for the first time, he began planning his next move.
Temujin, I bring greetings from the eastern tribes. You are welcome
The
here.
first
Let us
choice
speak of
was
unity.
finally made. A respected chief left the old alliances behind.
Our tribes
Before
stand
his
ready
own warriors, he pledged
join
his
the
loyalty to Temujin. The decision
Together we
echoed
will
across
unite
the
the steppe
steppe. If
under
one
one
leader
banner.
could change sides, others
Our
could
warriors
follow. The balance of power
yours
had
to
begun to
command.
shift, and that shift would
Then
soon
let this
demand an
alliance
answer.
be the beginning of a greater empire.
One pledge became many. Entire families began to move. Warriors brought their loyalty. Herders brought their wealth. Temujin's camp grew with every sunrise. His strength was no longer measured by victories alone, but by the people who chose to follow him. Soon his enemies would be forced to act.
My lord, the western tribes are mobilizing. From the east, a great
The
army
reports
marches.
kept
They will
arriving.
be upon us
Each
soon.
messenger carried the same news. Another tribe had crossed to Temujin.
My
Another
lord,
leader had
the western
changed his
tribes are
allegiance.
mobilizing.
Jamukha understood
east,
this could not
they
continue.
will be
If he
upon us
waited
soon.
longer, he would lose the initiative. So he reached
My
a
lord,
decisive
western
conclusion. The
tribes are
time for
mobilizing.
watching was over.
From the east, a great army marches.
They will be upon us soon.
Chiefs of the tribes, the enemy gathers strength. We must unite or fall. Our banners fly as one. Let our voices carry the same
Jamukha
resolve.
made his
Swear
decision.
your loyalty now.
He summoned his remaining
Our
allies.
strength lies in this
Chiefs
unity.
arrived from
The tribes
across the
stand as
steppe.
one against the
The
storm ahead.
gathering was unlike any before.
Swear your loyalty
They
now
all
and let our
understood
banners carry us to
Temujin's
victory.
rise could no longer be
Chiefs of the
ignored.
tribes,
What began
the time
as a
for
rivalry
hesitation is
was
over.
becoming a contest
Together
for
we are an
leadership of the
unbreakable force
Mongol
that will
tribes.
sweep across these lands.
The council had spoken. Its decision was now in motion. Messengers rode without delay. Each allied chief returned home. They gathered warriors, prepared supplies, and answered Jamukha's call. Across the steppe, both sides were preparing for the confrontation ahead.
Temujin, a large force approaches from the west.
How many?
Thousands, my lord.
The warning soon arrived. Temujin's scouts had seen Jamukha's movements.
We
The
must
allied
prepare.
tribes were gathering. The threat was now undeniable.
Send word to the other
Temujin
clans.
remained calm. He gave no dramatic speech.
come from the
Instead, he quietly
Thousands
prepared
strong.
for what was coming next.
Then we ride to meet them. The eastern pass is clear, my lord. Good. We adjust the left flank here. Commanders, your
Temujin
thoughts?
gathered his commanders.
Agreed. It is
Every
sound.
report was carefully examined. The land
southern
would
route
shape the battle.
remains vulnerable
Scouts
here, my
identified the safest routes.
We reinforce it
Supplies
with the left
were
flank.
organized.
Agreed.
Orders
It
spread
strengthens our
through the
position.
camp. Nothing was left to
This
chance.
ridge
The coming
offers the best
conflict
vantage
would
for our
test them all.
archers. Adjust the markers accordingly. It is a strong plan.
By sunrise, the army stood ready. Every warrior knew his place. Every commander understood his duty. Months of rebuilding had forged a disciplined force. Temujin looked across the ranks. The time for preparation was ending. The march was about to begin. The march had begun. Across the steppe, the army advanced. Scouts rode far ahead. Discipline guided every movement. Temujin kept the pace. There was no turning back. Somewhere ahead, Jamukha's coalition was preparing for the same meeting. last, the two armies stood within reach. Across the plain, their banners faced one another. Neither side moved first. Both commanders studied the ground. Both understood what was at stake. The next decision would shape everything that followed.
The enemy fills the valleys below, my lord.
And the hills?
Their
Before
cavalry is
giving
there,
a
but the
single
approach is
order,
narrow.
Temujin studied the land. Every ridge, every valley,
The valleys
every
are open to our
stream
left,
could shape the battle.
but the hills
His
hide their
commanders
archers.
waited in silence. Experience
use
had
the
taught
ridge to our
them that
advantage.
careless decisions often brought defeat. The
The
coming
main force is
battle would be
concentrated in the
decided
valley, my
long
lord, but their
before the
flanks are
first
exposed
arrow
along the
was
eastern
released.
hills.
Jamukha also prepared with great care. His coalition had gathered from many tribes. Each leader brought experienced warriors and trusted commanders. Together, they formed one of the largest forces seen on the steppe. Neither side could afford a single mistake. The first encounter came before the battle itself. Scouts from both armies saw each other across the valley. Surprise was now impossible. Both patrols turned back at once, carrying the same warning. The enemy was close. By nightfall, every commander would know the confrontation could no longer be delayed. The waiting was almost over. Before sunrise, every unit had taken its assigned position. Veteran commanders completed their final inspections. Silence spread across the ranks. No warrior could know what the day would bring, yet every man understood that the battle ahead would shape the future of the Mongol steppe. The coalition began to move. Jamukha led the advance with steady resolve. Behind him, tribal banners filled the horizon. Every commander held his position. Every warrior understood the importance of the coming hours. Neither army could avoid what lay ahead. The fate of two rival leaders would soon be tested in battle. The distance between the armies grew shorter with every moment. Across the plain, both commanders watched in silence. Every banner stood ready. Every horse waited for the signal. Months of preparation, alliances, and hard decisions had led to this single morning. Neither leader could withdraw without risking everything they had built.
Forward! Charge!
The waiting was over. At sunrise, the first riders surged forward. Mounted archers filled the sky with arrows. Both armies tested each other, searching for weakness. The battle had finally begun. From this moment, every decision, every charge, and every mistake would shape the future of the Mongol tribes. The first exchanges revealed more than courage. Temujin avoided a direct struggle. Instead, his cavalry swept toward the enemy's flank. Jamukha recognized the maneuver and quickly shifted his own riders to block the advance. The battle was already becoming a contest of speed and tactical judgment. Jamukha reacted immediately. He refused to surrender his exposed flank. Fresh cavalry changed direction at full speed. Temujin's maneuver had been detected. The opening plan would not succeed without adaptation. Both commanders were now changing their tactics as the battle evolved. The next decision could finally break the balance between the two armies. Entered a new phase. Temujin changed his approach. A cavalry unit began a disciplined withdrawal. To many, it appeared to be retreat, but experienced commanders recognized the movement as a calculated risk. Jamukha's riders pressed forward, determined to seize what looked like an opportunity. The pursuit had gone far enough. At Temujin's signal, hidden cavalry burst over the ridges. The withdrawing riders turned to face their pursuers. What had seemed a retreat became a carefully prepared counterattack. Within moments, the battlefield had changed. Jamukha's leading force was suddenly fighting on unexpected terms.
To the threatened charge! Converge! Flank their
Jamukha
right!
saw the
Hold the
danger.
line!
At once, he
Wheel
committed
left!
his
Engage!
reserve without hesitation. Elite riders charged toward the threatened flank. Their arrival slowed Temujin's advance before the encirclement could fully close. For the first time that day, both commanders were forced to abandon their original plans. The battle had become a struggle of constant adaptation.
Hold the line! Do
The
not
balance shifted again. Jamukha seized the opportunity. A powerful assault struck Temujin's left flank. For the first time, his battle line began to give ground. The withdrawal remained controlled, but the pressure continued to grow. Temujin recognized the danger immediately. Another decision had to be made before the coalition could exploit its advantage.
To the flank!
Temujin made his boldest decision of the day. He committed his final reserve to the threatened flank. Fresh cavalry entered the battle at full speed. The weakened line began to recover. Jamukha's advance lost its momentum. For a brief moment, the initiative changed hands once again. The struggle was no longer about strength alone, but about who could adapt faster under pressure. The battle reached another turning point. With his flank secured, Temujin shifted the pressure toward the center. Several cavalry units advanced in perfect coordination, forcing Jamukha's line to react on multiple fronts. Orders changed rapidly. Commanders raced to reinforce the weakening positions. The struggle was becoming a relentless contest of timing, discipline, and leadership.
Commanders, to me! The center's faltering!
The pressure continued to build. At the center of the battlefield, parts of Jamukha's line began to lose cohesion. Experienced commanders rushed to restore order before the opening grew wider. Jamukha personally redirected his remaining reserves to seal the dangerous gap. For the first time, the outcome of the battle seemed capable of turning in either direction.
Forward! Break their line!
The opportunity appeared without warning. A narrow gap opened between two coalition formations. Temujin saw it immediately. He committed his finest cavalry before the opening could disappear. The attack split the enemy line, forcing commanders to fight for control instead of momentum. The battle had reached its decisive phase.
Regroup! To the flanks! Hold the line! Signal the commanders!
The breakthrough
Temujin breaks through. We must
changed the
converge.
battle.
Advance.
Separated
Do not let them
units
divide
could
us.
no longer support one another. Orders arrived too late. The coalition began to lose its cohesion. Jamukha rode tirelessly, trying to rally his scattered allies. Temujin pressed forward without losing his discipline. The balance had finally begun to shift.
Signal all commanders!
The battle was decided. Jamukha chose to preserve his remaining force. He ordered an organized withdrawal instead of risking complete destruction. Temujin held his own riders under control. Discipline had secured more than victory. It had preserved the army that would shape the future of the Mongol tribes. The fighting had finally ended. Silence returned to the steppe. Across the battlefield, warriors searched for their companions and gathered the surviving horses. Temujin looked across the plain. Victory had been earned at a heavy cost. He knew this single battle had changed more than the balance of power. It had changed the course of his own destiny and the future of the Mongol world.
Welcome, brothers. The victory is ours. Temujin, we come to pledge our loyalty.
The victory
loyalty
spread
strengthens our
quickly
people.
across the steppe.
Together, we will build
Chiefs
an
who had
empire.
waited through the conflict
Brothers,
now
your
came to meet
arrival
Temujin.
honors us all.
Some offered their
We
loyalty,
pledge our
others
swords and our
offered
people to your
friendship
vision.
and future
Together we turn
alliances.
victory
The
into
battle
lasting
had
empire.
done more than defeat an opposing
Brothers,
army.
your loyalty
It had
turns our
convinced
battlefield
many
triumph
leaders
into a
that
lasting
Temujin
union.
was becoming the
We stand with you,
strongest
Temujin,
claimant
as
to
one people.
unite the Mongol
Our warriors and
tribes.
herds are yours to command.
The battle was over, but its consequences were only beginning. Across the steppe, new campfires burned together for the first time. Old rivalries had weakened, new alliances had emerged. Temujin stood in silence, looking across the growing camps. He had won more than a single victory. He had taken another decisive step toward uniting the Mongol tribes, though the greatest challenges still lay ahead. The long struggle had changed the balance of the steppe. Temujin was no longer simply another tribal leader. His victories, his setbacks, and his determination had earned the loyalty of many followers. Yet the dream of uniting all the Mongol tribes remained unfinished. A new chapter was waiting beyond the horizon, and history was only beginning to remember the name of Temujin. The battle had ended, but history was far from complete. Beyond these victories, greater challenges were already taking shape. New rivals, new alliances, and decisions that would change the world still lay ahead. This season has reached its conclusion, but the story of Temujin is only beginning. Genghis Khan will return in Season 2.